Hey everyone, it's LockhartQT here, and welcome back to another episode of the Call of Duty Zombies Retrospective series, a series in which I look back in time at Zombies maps lore, story, development history, gameplay secrets, and much more. And today, make sure to hop aboard your lunar landers, protect your perk from those pesky monkeys, and make sure you're ready for Black Ops 1's Ascension.
Welcome to Ascension, a place full of uncanny challenges, so you better use your brain, or it will end up being eaten by natives like these. And yes, you are correct, these are authentic Russian cosmonaut monkey zombies. So put an end to animal testing by sending their hairy asses into the atmosphere. Ascension, one of the 5 new maps in the Call of Duty Black Ops First Strike content pack.
Ascension, releasing on February 1st, 2011, is the 8th Zombies map overall, and is available obviously in Black Ops 1 via the First Strike DLC pack, with the overall map's theme description being as follows. An abandoned Soviet cosmodrome where unholy creations lurk in the shadows, and dark undead experiments run loose. Ascension at the time marked a massive shift in dynamic for the overall mode of zombies. Ascension initially actually started development as a substantially larger map. Treyarch actually had to scale back on the overall layout of the map as it was just too big for the Xbox 360 and PS3. Now, if you've been keeping up with this series on my channel, then you'll have realised I've mostly covered small maps so far, where we'll see World at War and Kino and maps like that, and Ascension is definitely not a small map at all. Ever since Derisa and then carrying over into Kino Der Toten for Black Ops 1, Zombies had now gained a small following in the community and reputation for addictive yet fun gameplay, and I believe it was Ascension that propelled Zombies even further forward into the mode it is today. Ascension as a map introduced loads of new features, gameplay, expanded on the map size as well as overall play space, and was the first map ever to introduce a main story Easter egg quest with voiced lines. Not only this, but Ascension carrying on the tradition of Zombies maps so far, reusing assets from campaign and other modes, because Ascension actually reuses assets from the Black Ops 1 campaign level, Executive Order, as well as the multiplayer map launch. But the map is entirely changed for Zombies whilst also keeping the rocket element intact. It just shares a lot of stuff from the campaign level Executive Order. If you play that campaign level again, you can see definitely the sort of overall layout as well as the rocket from Ascension. So let's start talking about the story and lore of the map. So as we saw in my last video, which was the map 5, at this point in time we're now in the 1960s, where the Cold War, remnants of Group 935, Division 9, the White House, and Broken Arrow, and more importantly for Ascension, the Ascension group, are now fighting to control Element 115 and to fight Samantha, or at least control her as well as the zombies. Confirmed by Treyarch themselves, the Ultimus crew are back again in Ascension with new outfits to boot, looking more banged up and rugged with more cuts, and they travel to the Ascension facility, or the Cosmodrome in Russia, in 1963 from Group 935's Kino facility. This was actually confirmed by Jason Blundell from them travelling from Kino to Ascension via a lunar lander. They do this to recover Richtofen's diary once again. I feel like most of the story so far has them been travelling back and forth to require his diary. The group then hear strange messages from a man named Gersh and need to free him from the Ascension group as well as the Casimir mechanism, along with many tasks and trials throughout the story in the map, as well as fighting off zombies as well as infected Russian cosmonaut space monkeys. The Ultimus crew then free Gersh from the dimensional rift inside of the Casimir mechanism, where I'm sure he definitely goes on to live a full, happy and healthy life. Dr. Anton Gersh is also directly connected to Dr. Yuri, better known as the Pentagon Thief, as both worked for the Ascension group. The reason he's a disembodied voice in Ascension in the first place is because of Yuri, who was consumed by Samantha's voice after reading Richthofen's diary. He then tricked Gersh into activating a Gersh device. The rift then allowed Samantha to travel through into our universe, and our void rather, from the ether. It also absorbed Gersh himself, destroying his body and trapping him inside of the Casimir mechanism, where he's then freed by the Ultimus cast. Ascension also takes place directly at the same time as the map 5. If you go to different telephones next to different perks and areas and locations in the map, if you interact with them during monkey rounds, you'll actually hear quotes from JFK, Fidel Castro, McNamara, as well as Nixon, confirming that 5 and Ascension take place exactly at the same time. So in terms of gameplay features, Ascension introduces a lot of brand new gameplay features. New traps in the form of fire traps that essentially just fire zombies and set them on fire and kill them instantly, keeping in with the rocket theming, as well as being one of the only maps in Call of Duty Zombies history to introduce 2 new perks, being the first, obviously, PhD Flopper costing 2,000 points, allowing for explosion damage resistance, full damage resistance, and the most fun ability by far, when flopping or dolphin diving from a ledge, you create a small nuclear explosion. PhD is just such an iconic classic perk, and it's a fan favourite in the Call of Duty Zombies community, and I feel like Ascension was just perfectly created with PhD in mind. PhD creates so many cool strats, especially jumping from the ledge and stairs near the actual perk's location, and it's definitely a strat I did 10 years ago where you train the zombies, flop off the ledge, run back up, do it again and again and again. I think not only is it effective, especially on the lower rounds, but it's just fun to do as well. The other new perk is of course Stamina Up, and due to the size increase of Ascension from maps like Kino, Deriso and Shinonuma, a new perk was created to give you unlimited sprinting duration as well as faster sprinting speeds to make moving around the map as well as, a much bigger play space easier and quicker. Both with PhD Flopper as well as Stamina Up, in my opinion both of these perks are absolutely crutch perks and fit perfectly into the overall map. Both perks feel like they were made specifically for Ascension in mind. And speaking of the map size, I keep saying Ascension is bigger, I've mentioned it a few times in this video already, with the map brilliantly starting the player off in an off-tone colour scheme or a grey filter to indicate that the power actually needs turning on, and this is even better displayed in Black Ops 3, for when you turn the power on, you get to see that graphical fidelity and the remaster that is in Zombies Chronicles. As soon as you go from like the off filter, the grey filter, and then just to the full colour, it is just it. For the first time you do it in Black Ops 3 more so, it's fantastic. The map itself is divided into a main central area featuring a spinning, rotating Cosmodome test area that can actually kill zombies if they interact with it, as well as the player, similar to the Flogger from Shinonuma, except this isn't a buyable trap, it's just in the spawn area and it just periodically spins around every now and again. But moving on to the player then turns on the power switch in the centre up in the stairs. The player then also has a choice at 3 more open areas to activate the brand new lunar landers. The lunar landers act as a transport system to get around the map easier, and in Ascension you activate the lunar landers and then they actually fly you back to the starting room when you're called to that station, which can also be used as a quick escape plan. Say for example you're training near PhD, you can then activate a lander and then just get out of there quickly back to the spawn room, and then once all 3 landers are complete, a switch in the centre up by the rocket can then be activated to launch the rocket and then revealing Pack Punch. Ascension reuses the ray gun and thunder gun from Kino der Toten, but also added a load of new weapons and lethal and tacticals to use on the map. A new weapon being obviously the sickle. It's the first brand new melee weapon other than the Bowie knife, and the sickle is basically just a reskinned Bowie knife. It's the exact same thing, it's 3000 points, and it drops off around round 12, round 13. However, the sickle is to better suit the map's Russian theme overall. The first new lethal grenade, however, also known as a wonder weapon, is the Gersh device, a really cool looking device that when thrown out, sucks up zombies into a black hole. Not only perfectly fitting the map's theme, but being in my opinion the best lethal in zombies history because it's just so overpowered. Next up are the Matryoshka dolls, replacing the monkey bombs, and when thrown out actually explode multiple times into doll versions of the Ultimus characters. If you have got no idea what Matryoshka dolls are, they are the the Russian nesting dolls, and at the time I just thought this was such not only a cool Easter egg, but just a cool lethal in general. They're not really viable sort of into the rounds going past like round 100. I think the Gersh device is just obviously way better suited for high rounds. The Matryoshkas still add a lot of fun to the map. Ascension's biggest new inclusion, however, are the monkey rounds, replacing the Hellhound rounds from World at War and Kino. The sky suddenly turned red, alarms start ringing around the Cosmodome facility, and then monkeys start falling from landers from the sky with one goal in mind: stealing your perk machines. The monkeys will actually target any perks currently in your possession, so for example if you've currently got in your inventory Juggernog and Quick Revive, they will only go for those two perks, and your character as well as the sort of flashing icon in the bottom left where the perk icon actually stands will indicate that they are currently trying to steal that particular perk. So your character will yell something like, the monkeys are trying to steal my revive, and if the monkeys actually steal your perk, then you will lose it entirely, making it so that you'll have to buy it again in the next round. But if you manage to kill all of the monkeys on that round without them even touching a perk machine, you'll actually be awarded with a brand new free perk power up. This round is hated by many due to many thinking that the monkeys are annoying. I remember them being very annoying back in the day, back when I used to play on my 360. I just remember them being annoying little shit. But when playing this map recently to record B-roll footage for this video, I found them not to be too bad up until about round 30 on solo, as they have increased health, making it more likely you'll lose perks. I found that some of the monkeys, especially on like round 40 odd, would actually take 2 thunder gun blasts to kill, and not only that, but you are awarded with the trade-off of getting a free perk. Also, getting a free perk can actually be a bit detrimental depending on how good you are at zombies, as the more perks you have currently in your inventory, the more perks you have to protect from the monkeys, sort of balancing the round out. In terms of gameplay though, Ascension overall is a very easy, casual friendly map, and the monkey rounds do add a layer of difficulty and stopping players just steamrolling through the rounds, as especially in Black Ops 3 you've got not only the gobble guns, you've got the thunder gun, ray gun mark II, the ray gun, the Gersh devices, the Matryoshka dolls. You have so much at your disposal, and especially on co-op as well, that you can just absolutely steamroll this map, especially training near either PhD or Stamina Up. It just makes this map very easy, but I feel like the monkeys were a necessary evil for sort of balancing the map overall. Okay, so next up we're talking about the map's overall appearances and cameos in other games and modes. So Ascension not only features in the original Black Ops 1's DLC pack, but then also features in Call of Duty Black Ops in mobile form as a much downgraded version. It just looks horrible in general. I remember playing this version on my old iPhone back in the day, but more importantly it also features in Black Ops 3 via Zombie Chronicles. Zombie Chronicles was a remastered map pack for Black Ops 3, remastering pretty much all of the World at War and Black Ops 1 maps, as well as Origins from Black Ops 2, as well as including the Black Ops 3 weapons. However, the HUD and overall gameplay systems. Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles also added Widow's Wine, which replaced PhD Flopper, very sad indeed, and added Der Wunderfizz, which also included Double Tap 2.0 and Deadshot Daiquiri, both perks. Obviously Deadshot hadn't been invented yet, it wasn't in the, in zombies in general until Call of the Dead, but Double Tap for some reason just wasn't in Ascension back in the day, and also including a cameo from the Shadow Man as well. He's in the window near Pack-a-Punch, you can actually see him in the window, as well as a Dr. Monty radio, as well as the Samantha Dolls Easter egg added in Chronicles. Ascension was also later updated in 2011 to feature Mule Kick as a new perk on the map alongside Stamina Up and PhD as a part of the Resurrection map pack. When Moon came out and Resurrection DLC came out, Mule Kick was then added to every Black Ops 1 and World at War map. Okay, so now speaking of Easter eggs, Ascension was the first map ever to feature a main quest Easter egg with voice lines and everything. Teresa had the fly trap, and there were little radios and side quests throughout World at War and Black Ops 1 so far, but Ascension actually featured an Easter egg with multiple steps and a reward for completion being a longer death machine. No perks, you didn't really get like all of the perks and a perkaholic back then, you only got a death machine. And if you're a big fan of the storyline and more so the actual Easter egg quests, so if you're a speedrunner, someone who tries to do all of the Easter eggs really quickly, or if you're just a fan of the Easter eggs in general, then you actually have both Teresa and Ascension to thank for it, as this was the first map to just feature a full Easter egg. And speaking of which, the Easter egg actually starts off with the destruction of the rocket. You can actually explode the rocket by just absolutely nuking it to hell with things like the China Lake, grenade launchers, grenades, the ray gun Mark II in Black Ops 3, after linking all of the Freelanders and turning on power. Then, using a Gersh device to suck up a generator, it then starts the quest with the Casimir mechanism after interacting with a TV. And speaking of this Easter egg, some of my favourite steps included using the landers to collect floating letters to spell out the word Luna, as well as the final step. I'm a great advocate for an Easter egg having a brilliant final boss, or just final step, similar to maps like Tag the Toten. I love that map's last step. But with Ascension, the final step is actually just you and your teammates nuking the Casimir mechanism, just powering it up and just I think it's like you have to overflow it or something like that, or overpower it, and you can do this by Pack-a-Punched Thunder Guns, Ray Gun Mark II, Gersh device, Matryoshka dolls, crossbows, ballistic knives, everything at your disposal you use on the map to just nuke this thing to help free Gersh. And this main quest was just so cool back in the day, and it's really hard, it's not really hard to do, it's quite an easy Easter egg, and I feel like as the first Easter egg, it kind of had to be easy, especially in co-op, even hinting at the player, with whistling noises around the map, and the fact that this was the first map to really have character quotes to sort of hint at that there was an Easter egg or there was something in that area to do, which back in the day was absolutely brand new to the mode. I mean, yes, Teresa had, voice lines for things like the musical Easter egg, but they'd never actually had voice lines to specifically hint at Easter egg steps. The Ascension was the first map to do it. But the map also features lots of little references and Easter eggs, such as the interactable Matryoshka dolls around the map, where you can interact with them and you'll get a little cool, really funny quote from the doll itself, and then your character will sort of talk to the doll or interact with it. You'll then get hidden messages both on the map as well as out of bounds, special radios featuring the story of the Ascension group, and then obviously from Dr. Monty in Black Ops 3. You then get more story for Yuri and Gersh as well as the Ascension group, with the main musical Easter egg on the map, which is also a return to Elena Siegman and Kevin Sherwood, being an absolute banger titled Abracadabra, which is activated by activating 3 teddies around the map holding sickle knives. Okay everyone, welcome back to Trivia Time. This is the section in the series where I talk about cool little facts that you might or not have known about the map. So let's start off with, did you know that PhD Flopper and Stamina Up are actually clones of Black Ops 1 multiplayer perks? Stamina Up being similar to both Marathon and Lightweight, and then PhD being based on the perk Flak Jacket. Did you know it was also believed that the bald man in the First Strike DLC poster for Ascension was Richtofen? Obviously you've got Takeo, Nikolai, Dempsey, so people just assumed that this bald character was Richtofen, but if you look at the poster it definitely doesn't look like Richtofen. And during the promotional stuff and marketing for Zombie Chronicles, it was actually confirmed by at the time director for Zombies Jason Blundell during an interview that this indeed was not Richtofen. And then inside of Zombie Chronicles via the Dr. Monty radio, he then reveals that the bald man in the poster was actually Anton Gersh, and he at a time joined the Ultimus crew, and at that time Richtofen was away doing whatever. Also, sticking with the Ascension poster for a second, Dempsey can be seen holding a Wunderwaffe DG2, Takeo can be seen holding a Winter's Howl, which was the wonder weapon seen on Verrucht in Black Ops 1 as well as 5. However, neither can be obtained actually in the map, which really suggests to me and a lot of other people that these wonder weapons were once on this map. We can also see in the poster and concept art and promotional materials that we can also see the Nova 6 gas crawlers as well as Hellhounds, again speculating at the fact that these were once planned to be on Ascension other than the monkeys, or maybe with the monkeys as well. Imagine having Ascension with the Nova gas crawlers, Hellhounds and monkeys, it would just be absolute chaos. And the final little fact here, did you know this is one of the only maps in Zombies history where the zombies have advanced movement? The zombies here will actually try to dodge bullets by rolling over to the player, sidestepping, falling over, stumbling, tripping, everything in their power to stop you. This is a really cool bit of gameplay because zombies can now dodge your bullets. With guns where the projectiles actually fire in mid-air, so things like grenade launchers or the Ray Gun Mark II in Black Ops 3, zombies can now dodge it, wasting your ammo. So in conclusion, Ascension is a map that has really grown on me over time. Fun fact, but back in the day I actually skipped over Ascension altogether in the DLCs, because usually, you get the season pass and then you play all the DLCs in order. Back in the day I would use my Microsoft points to buy each individual DLC because I just wasn't old enough and I had to get my mum to buy it. When Ascension was out, I believe I was either 12 or 13 back in the day, so that probably gives you an indication of my age. But I remember just skipping Ascension, and I really wish I'd played it at the launch of the map. I didn't actually play it until Moon came out. But in terms of Ascension, I love the cosmic lunar theming within the Cosmodome and things like the rocket and the monkeys, the actual theming of the map. I love how OP the wonder weapons are, being obviously the Ray Gun Mark II in Black Ops 3, the Ray Gun itself, the Thunder Gun, the Gersh device, the Matryoshka dolls. I love PhD and Stamina Up's inclusions, as well as how fun this map is to both traverse on foot as well as by lander, but then also how fun it is just to generally have a good time and play on this map. I love playing Ascension now, and it's one of those maps that I will definitely come back to maybe once a year or once every 6 months. I really like Ascension. I feel like Ascension is a really good balance between casual fun and complexity, being a great introductory map for, say for example, if you want to introduce a new player who still wants some complexity to the overall zombies mode. I really recommend, if you've got a friend who wants to get into zombies, showing them Ascension as one of the first maps they play, because not only is it, quite casual but fun, but for a first experience it's not too easy. You'd have to, teach them how to turn on power, get pack punch open, and then if you want to do the Easter egg and things like that. But Ascension can be annoying at times, especially with the monkey rounds, the main quest not being completable on solo without mods in Black Ops 1, as well as zombies dive rolling and jumping out of the way of your Ray Gun Mark II blast or explosion, wasting your ammo. And these little things for me stop Ascension from being like a top 5 map, but I still really love Ascension. So anyway everyone, thank you so much for watching the video today. If you want more videos in the Zombies Retrospective series, I've done maps on World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. If you want to go check those out, there'll be a couple on screen right now, as well as the end card of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and maybe drop a comment on what you guys think about the map overall, and some of your memories of playing Ascension. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys. Bye.